Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. My name is Monique, and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your continued love and support here on the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome. You may also want to check out my main tarot channel, Moon Moth Goddess, where I do have a bunch of other pick a card readings for you guys to check out. For those of you that would like to book a private reading, you can find my email down below in the description box. Just send me an email and I will provide you with more information on booking readings as well as other services with me. I do also want you guys to keep in mind that I will never reach out to you on any type of social media, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. I will not reach out to you in the comment section to offer you readings, services, or ask you to contact me at an email or a WhatsApp phone number. The only way that you can book readings with me is by you reaching out to me and sending me an email. So if there's someone who's messaging you on Facebook, Instagram, in the comments, it's not me. Okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, so today's pick a card, we are doing what are your ancestors helping you with and why. Okay, so we are going to do three different piles today, or groups. Okay, if you do feel drawn to more than one of the groups, that is perfectly okay for today's reading. Go with whatever your intuition is guiding you towards. So what are your ancestors helping you with and why? For pile 1, we have this pink dyed quartz. Pile 2 is going to be opalite. And then pile number 3 is going to be blue apatite. Okay? So those are the choices. If you already know which one you feel drawn to, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the timestamp. But I am going to be adding in one of these cards to help you with choosing your pile today. So let's get something for pile number 1 with the pink dyed quartz. For pile 1, what are your ancestors helping you with? And some of the imagery on these cards is not YouTube friendly, so I might have to cover up part of the image if there is one that has something showing that's not safe for younger audiences. Okay. All right. So what are your ancestors helping you with and why? I'm just going to put them face down and then I will check them to see if there's anything I need to cover. Pile 2 and pile number 3. What are your ancestors helping you with? Okay. So let's see. Okay. So pile 1, we have love all, trust a few. Okay. So love all, trust a few, card number 40. And that is going to be with this pink dyed quartz here. Love all, trust a few, number 40. Pile 2, I'm just going to cover it up just a bit. This one says Raging Fire of Fever, card number 43. Okay, so I have to cover up part of your image, but yours is going to be with this opalite. Raging Fire of Fever, number 43. Okay. And pile number 3. This one's fine. Okay. So Listen to the Moon, card number 5. And that is with this blue apatite. Listen to the Moon, number 5. Okay, so those are the choices for today. Pile 1, it says love all, trust a few with the pink dyed quartz. Pile 2, raging fire of fever, and that is with the opalite. And then pile number 3, we have listen to the moon with the blue apatite. Timestamps are down below, and I will see you guys at your reading. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So today we're looking at what are your ancestors helping you with and why. So we started off with this card here. It says love all, trust a few. So I want to pull all of your cards actually. And then just kind of get a good picture of what your ancestors are helping you with. So we're going to start off with pulling 3 of these cards. And then I've got one more oracle deck, and then we're going to pull some tarot for you. So what are your ancestors helping you with? Pile 1. What are your ancestors helping you with? Okay, so we have black tourmaline with eliminate. I was going to say illuminate, but maybe this is what's happening here too, is illuminating who you need to eliminate or what needs to be eliminated. Okay, so eliminate with the black tourmaline. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? We have amethyst with balance. And then we also have autumn here with prepare. Okay. So let's pull one of these oracle cards. And then we're going to pull your tarot and then see what this is about, but I'm already getting an idea of what's going on here. So what are your ancestors helping you with and why? Okay, so I'm going to take this top one. We have security, and it says insecure versus safe. Okay, with security. So now let's pull your tarot. I'm also seeing teaching at the bottom here, and I'm gonna have to, I think I want to keep this one for you guys, but I'm gonna have to cover up just a little bit of this. So I think what I'm gonna do is just put it right underneath this one. But basically there's it looks like a woman here. Okay, teaching, withheld versus giving. I'm just going to cover this up a bit. And we'll put these here. And then now let's look at your tarot and see. What are your ancestors helping you with? Pile 1. Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups. What are your ancestors helping you with? We have the 3 of Cups, and I will move the camera down in just a minute. I'm seeing how it's kind of cutting things off. So we have the Page of Swords. What are your ancestors helping you with? We have the Lovers. What are your ancestors helping you with? We have the Five of Cups. Okay. So let me move this down just a little bit. Okay, there we go. All right, so at the bottom of the deck, we have the Universe, which is the World card. Okay. So from what I'm kind of seeing here, the major thing that stand out to me is actually these two oracle cards right here. We have Black Tourmaline with Eliminate, and then we have the Amethyst with Balance. Also, I feel like your Autumn card here with Prepare, you can see how the leaves on this tree have already started to change, and then some of them are kind of laying on the ground as the tree is dropping its leaves, which is releasing. In this case, kind of eliminating, right, to prepare for new. So what I gather from this, is that your ancestors are currently helping you with healing, okay? And the emphasis for this, and I'm feeling for some of you that may have chosen this pile, and this, of course, won't be for everyone, but this might be confirmation for some of you. But I am getting divine counterpart energy here, okay? So those of you that are on the twin flame journey, but also, you know, for those of you with the Lovers card being here, this may be even a soulmate connection for some of you. But I'm also seeing this for something that your ancestors are helping you with for yourself, because the Lovers is about union, okay? And I'm kind of seeing this as you also finding this union and balance within the self. And you have this card Eliminate here. And I'm noticing that you have the Five of Cups and also the Six of Cups energy, which for some of you, I feel like kind of like what's taking place now is there is a healing that's happening, okay? A lot of energy in a sense that is being released. For some of you, this may go back to your childhood. So this could be a lot of inner child healing that's happening here. But there's certainly a lot of, for some of you, grieving over the loss of maybe certain connections. And so not only do I see inner child healing here, but also these heavy feelings of grief or pain, guilt, shame, remorse, disappointment, discouragement, feeling of hopelessness, okay? Now some of you, because we do have the mention of security here, some of you might have abandonment wounds, okay, or even rejection wounds. Because the one thing that I notice, a lot of this has to do with love, okay? You have love all, trust a few. So I certainly feel like you may be someone who, when you love a person or when you're in a relationship or you are committed to someone, I feel that you may have in the past or even now, you could certainly be a person who truly allows yourself to completely open up to someone and love that person very deeply. So I do feel like you are very capable of loving the person you're with. And I feel like sometimes, as this relates to your past, that may have even been to your detriment, okay? With sometimes putting yourself in situations with certain people, being very vulnerable, And I feel like sometimes there may have been, for some of you, people that may have taken advantage of that. Okay? So I feel that those of you that have also chosen this pile may have had some pretty difficult relationships, challenging relationships. You may have experienced things such as rejection, abandonment. Now, again, this might be something that has happened since childhood. So I feel like you're learning, okay? And some of you may have already been, in the process of really learning how to master this, but I certainly feel like as you go through and your ancestors might be helping you in a way with bringing up helping you to retrieve certain memories from your subconscious, okay? And as these things from your past are coming up, for some of you, they could be things that are coming up from childhood or even past relationships and connections that you may have had. And the reasons for which is because your ancestors are trying to help you to clear your energy. And as you go through that process, right, of remembering and having certain things kind of come up for you, we have teaching here. So with the Page of Swords being present, the Page of Swords is like the student out of the court cards. The Page of Swords is very inquisitive, very much about getting details, getting information. So there could be a lot of lessons that you learn even through the process of recalling certain memories. Sometimes when we're going through something, we don't always fully think through what we're going through. It's not until later on down the road, or even sometimes for some of us later in life, when you start to remember a certain situation that you've gone through and start to kind of work through your thoughts, your feelings, and things like that are still there, where you start to understand things on a deeper level and how things happened and how they made you feel, and kind of like this process of I don't want to necessarily say desensitizing you to, pain. However, when this stuff comes up and you start to work through it, it starts to change your perspective of how you look at the past, how you associate with it, what your thoughts are surrounding it, to help you through the healing process, to then lessen the amount of pain through you facing and dealing with the feelings and the emotions. And I feel like that's helping you to release, okay? And as a result of that, this is your ancestors through that process helping you to feel more secure, more balanced, okay? Now, this may be, for some of you, this could have been something that affected you. I feel like with relationships as a whole, it doesn't matter if they were romantic, friendships, or even relationships with family members, okay, loved ones. But I feel like this here, some of you may have, with love all and trust a few, like I said, unfortunately, sometimes, you could be someone who has a really big heart, who is very empathetic towards others. And some of you, like I said, you may have had that kindness, gentleness, compassion, empathy be something that was taken advantage of, okay, by other people. This still feels crooked to me. Sorry, guys. I don't like it when I'm editing later and then it looks, I'm like, what was I doing? Why is it so crooked? But yes, we have the world at the bottom, okay? And the world is the completion of cycles. So some of you, I feel like, as you're kind of releasing, like I said, this is helping you, preparing you in a sense. I certainly feel like you're learning, your ancestors are helping you to, like I said, look back at certain things, pay attention to more or less the details, right, of things that you're remembering, recalling. But it's also you're learning here to maybe say like what worked and what didn't work in the past with within regards to your own patterns of behavior, ways of thinking, your actions, and then also being able to understand maybe say like the other person here, whether a romantic partner, friend, family member. I feel like this is helping you not only through this, like I said, this process of releasing, which is helping you to clear, right, certain negative energy here, blocked or stagnant energy. But I feel like this is also helping you to put you into a position to receive unconditional love, to experience joy, happiness, because we do have like the positive energies here. And then with the Five of Cups, not that it's really say like a negative energy, but it can certainly put us in a little bit of a low place emotionally. Okay? So as you're releasing here, it's kind of like releasing and closing out certain cycles. And then right underneath that, we have the Three of Pentacles, which is about expansion. It's about bringing people together. This could certainly be looked at as rebuilding your foundation, right? Because we have security here from feeling insecure to secure and safe, more grounded. So I feel like this is a lot of what your ancestors are helping you with, is a lot of clearing of any stuck, blocked, stagnant energy from your emotional body, okay? But as a result of that, I also feel like because the Page of Swords is here, this is also helping you in terms of, I'm seeing this kind of like starting from like the root chakra, and then with the page, how she's kind of like even pointing towards her, the sword is towards the sky, but she looks like she's kind of almost touching her third eye here. And amethyst is also a really good crystal to use to work with your intuition, your third eye. So when I look at this energy, it kind of looks like this is helping you by doing this here and helping to ground your root chakra energy, helping to release, right, what needs to be released. It's helping to get the energy to move from the lower chakras, the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, into the upper chakras, okay, where you are able to be like more tuned in to spirit, to your third eye, okay? And sometimes we do, when we're trying to strengthen our connection to spirit, to our higher self, to our ancestors, this requires us to raise our vibration. It requires us to let go of certain beliefs, feelings, emotions, thoughts, ideas that are limiting or that are negative in a sense, okay? So I do want to read the message here, and this is from, which deck is this? This is the Queen Mab. Is it? Yeah, the Queen Mab. This one was actually donated to the channel. Donated by Sandra. So thank you, Sandra, for sending this in. So we're going to use and see. And that is number 40. So let's see. Okay. It says refuse to be controlling or controlled. If you mistake universal love for unquestioning trust, there will surely be those who will happily take advantage of your confusion of the two. You can tune into the eternal nature of a soul, one's inherent beauty and worthiness, without agreeing to go along with everything someone asks, assumes, or appears to require. It does make sense to love everyone unconditionally if you can manage it. At the same time, you need not let everyone in your inner circle of trust. Some people you will want to keep at a distance. Still others you may want to bar from your life completely. This is not a perfect science. No two people are alike. Every relationship is a negotiation of power, an exploration of what feels right and safe to you at this particular time. The older you get, the more experience and wisdom you will gain. But as long as you interact with others, you will not be immune from the attentions of those who seek to dominate, manipulate, and control. There may also be times when you are the manipulative party, the abuser, the narcissist, or the boundary crosser. If you find yourself dismissing the previous statement outright, stop, read it again, ask yourself, have I received such feedback lately? If so, did I refuse to entertain the possibility that I could be mistreating someone? Have I reflected upon my actions and asked myself whether or not I was acting with kindness and integrity? As the wise bard wrote, love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Admitting mistakes makes you stronger, not weaker. Desperately clinging to a vision of yourself as right or perfect is like quicksand, pulling you further and further from honest connection and personal evolution. And even though the same is true for others, mistakes or weaknesses do not condemn a person or deem them eternally unworthy of love. This does not mean you must give your precious time and attention to anyone and everyone who asks for it. Protect your energy by following the humble and intuitive voice within. Enforce the boundaries that feel right to you, whether those boundaries will serve to modify a relationship or end it entirely. Love all. Send your love out universally, but trust no more than a few, and harm no one. Honestly examine your own behavior and even question your own perhaps overly flattering self-image when appropriate. And don't hesitate to amend or permanently terminate any relationship you choose. You do not need to defend or explain your choice. The fact that you have chosen is enough. Okay? So, kind of like I was saying earlier, this Five of Cups energy here about grief, pain, sadness, regret, guilt, remorse, shame, humiliation, right? And I was saying that this is kind of connected into, potentially for you guys, we have friendships here, okay? With the Three of Cups, Six of Cups could also be siblings, family members, even romantic partners, okay? But like I said, I kind of feel like this has to do with relationships as a whole. Now, as Spirit is kind of helping you, right, to shed and release, like I was saying, as you're doing that, and as these memories are kind of coming up here for you, you're looking at all of them. Okay? They're coming up for a reason for you to release. Because you're learning, right? You're learning from those experiences to take that wisdom with you, to help you to feel more secure within yourself, but also to help you build a sense of security within your romantic relationships, family relationships, friendships. And sometimes, like this card is talking about, sometimes, yes, we are the ones who get hurt, but sometimes we're also the ones who hurt. So this is you, as the Page of Swords, looking at all of that, right? And eliminating not just, pain that you might feel that another person has caused you, but also taking time to self-reflect upon those parts of yourself, right, that you're not proud of and that you can work on. So the releasing here in a way is the shedding away, right, of, again, all of that blocked, stuck, stagnant energy, things we may have forgotten about, things that we may have suppressed, because it's making you stronger as a whole. It's helping you, again, to feel, what was that? I think there's like a bug flying around here. It's like freaking me out. Helping you to feel stronger as a whole. And And this is when union, right, within the self is something that's possible, because you're helping to balance and clear your energy, which is going to help you to get that movement, right? Starting from the root chakra all the way up through to the crown to feel more balanced. Okay? We're able to kind of close out some cycles here and then work towards rebuilding here. Okay? So let's pull a few more oracle cards. There is a fly in here, you guys, and I don't like bugs. So hopefully it doesn't do anything crazy. And then I won't have to get crazy and scream in here. But let's see. Pile 1. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? We have guidance. Guidance. We have paradox. Paradox. And then I'm seeing transparency at the bottom. I almost feel like there's a lot that Spirit is kind of revealing to you here with that. I think another important point that this card was making was also making decisions to sometimes end certain connections, okay? Whether that is, right, a romantic partnership, a friendship, boundaries, you know, with certain family members, especially if you feel like you can't completely just kind of cut them off. With this energy of the paradox, this is basically telling us to pay attention to, because everything may not necessarily be what it seems to be, right? Sometimes there's a need for us to step into that Page of Swords energy to really closely examine certain people, right, that you do have in your life. You know, with transparency and the paradox with guidance, I almost kind of feel like sometimes we have or have, how do I want to say this? Kind of like there might be certain illusions, okay? Certain illusions of not seeing a person or a situation or even ourselves, right? In a way that is healthy. Or like, let's just say that we're in a relationship, right? It's a romantic relationship, and you know, we have a certain viewpoint of it, and Spirit is saying, no, pay attention, look closer, right? What is happening here? What is going on here? What is your behavior here? What is the other person's behavior here? Are there certain aspects of your personality, of your behaviors that have to change? Okay? So I almost feel like Spirit's wanting you to pay close attention, because of transparency here, this can certainly be that the veil is being lifted. Your ancestors are helping you to lift the veil with seeing people, situations, the self in a different light. And then, only then, right, can we then begin to release, work on, heal, change, and if we choose to, behaviors, relationships, right, where we're really able to see it. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're in, you know, kind of like a state where we don't have any realization about what a person's true nature is. We're kind of blinded to it. Sometimes if we get caught up emotionally in certain situations, we may not be seeing, right, a person for who they truly are, because that the love that we have for them is something that is blinding us to that, right? And sometimes it's helpful to have friends who, or people that are very loving and very supportive of you, surrounding you, that, and sometimes it's those friends or even another family member or the romantic partner who kind of opens your eyes to certain things, right, that you may not see. So yeah, I certainly feel like with the paradox here, it's like Spirit's saying it's time for you to really pay attention, because there's things that are being revealed to you, and all is not as it seems. You know, this is a time for really kind of paying attention here. So I feel like that is what your ancestors are helping you with now. It's kind of like this clearing here, okay, of energy, of people, of situations. Does this connection, relationship, family situation, partnership, pattern of behavior that I have, does it serve? Does it serve my highest good? And if not, this is in preparation for change, for release, which, as you grow and evolve, you can then begin to look around you and feel and see, right, clearly, does this relationship, is it evolving and growing with me? Is this friendship growing and evolving with me? And if not, right, we've got an ending here. And the Three of Pentacles is also another card about friendships and collaborations and connections. So this may certainly be you kind of, we have the Two of Pentacles energy here, which is about weighing our options. It's also about priorities and, working towards stability and making choices. So this might even be helpful to, build connections with people moving forward that do support you, that do make you feel secure, that are supportive of you, okay? So that is what I'm seeing as far as what your ancestors are helping you with. It's kind of like a big clearing, okay? A big clearing. So as you grow and you evolve, is everyone growing with you? Or is it time to start cutting ties with certain people, or even, like I said, certain aspects of the self, patterns of behavior? Are you holding on to, certain things from your past or even your childhood that are kind of weighing you down energetically? Because for some of you, sometimes we hold on to this heavy stuff. This could even put us in a place where we start to have resentment, anger, victim mentality, okay, that also start to bring our energy down. And black tourmaline is really, really good with helping to eliminate negative energies. Okay, it's very powerful in terms of clearing as well. So that is what I'm seeing for you here, pile 1. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here. I hope this was helpful. If you did choose another pile, I will see you there. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing Friday, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with the Raging Fire of Fever card and the Opalite, this is going to be your reading today. So we are finding out what your ancestors are helping you with and why, okay? So I'm actually going to pull all of your cards and then just kind of see what is going on. So we're going to pull 3 of these and have one more oracle deck, and then we're going to pull your tarot. So pile 2, what are your ancestors helping you with and why? What are your ancestors helping you with? Pile 2. We have Lavender with Serenity. We have the Rose with Timeless. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? We also have the Willow with Flexibility. And let's pull one of these. I thought I saw something. There we go. Okay, what are your ancestors helping you with? Pile 2. Okay, so we have creatress with going from being uninspired to creative. And interesting that this is coming out for you, because this card here, Raging Fire of Fever, has to do with channeling your passion. Using like your fire energy, your passion here. And then we have creatress. So what's at the bottom of the deck? We have perceptive here, from being oblivious to aware. So oblivious and uninspired to creative and aware. I think I'm going to put the other one on top. Interesting, though, that we've got this fire energy here. And then in this perceptive card, there's all this water, which is your feelings, emotions, and intuition. And then the creatrix energy, which is feminine. Okay. So let's pull your tarot and see. Pile number 2, what are your ancestors helping you with and why? Maybe some of you have been feeling a little bit, I would say like creatively blocked, or maybe like this is saying uninspired, maybe unmotivated. Let's pull the tarot. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? What are your ancestors helping you with? We have the Page of Cups. I'm going to have to cover this one a little bit. We have the Page of Cups. We have the Moon. All this intuitive energy here. Feminine. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? Oops. So we're going to take these. We've got 7 of Wands. The 2 of Pentacles. And the 3 of Pentacles. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? Okay. So like I said earlier, you have 2 cards here that are talking about creation, fire, passion. For some of you, this might even be to making a choice. Making some type of choice here to move forward with some type of idea or decision here. And, you know, like I said, we do have this very intuitive energy. The Page of Cups is also, you know, the Page of Cups can talk about the inner child, self-love, but it's also a beautiful energy of creativity and intuition and dreamy imagination. And then you also have the Moon here, which is also, you know, about our intuition, But the moon can bring in illusion, confusion, deception, in which, certain thoughts that we have that deceive us. So this kind of makes me feel that your ancestors are trying to help you to connect in with your authentic self, to discover or rediscover your, I feel like your natural born gifts, abilities, talents, skills, and to take some time to nurture them, because we do have the page energy here. So for some of you, this creative gift that you have may be something that is kind of like unexplored potential. It could be like when you feel like, okay, yes, I do have this talent, but it's underdeveloped. Okay. So this kind of makes me feel that with the Seven of Wands energy here, this is about facing challenge, adversity, and it's about perseverance. And the moon, like I said, can certainly bring in a lot of uncertainty, doubting ourselves, feeling confused, not trusting our intuition. And maybe for some of you, there are certain aspects of yourself that, where you even question, like, what am I meant to be doing? What is my life purpose? What is my destined career path? What are my natural talents and skills and abilities? So I feel like your ancestors are trying to help you to connect in with your inner child. Your inner child is in very close connection to your higher self, okay? And the inner child is also extremely creative and intuitive. Your inner child is without fear, without the limitations of the ego that has been created over the course of your life, right? And sometimes, really also depending on how we're raised, how supported we are during childhood, and even, adult relationships and friendships that we have, can either help us to grow and flourish, or they can be ones that make us, and this which is interesting, because where I'm going with this, it's almost leading me to this card that was at the bottom here, shadow work, and I didn't pick it up, but Spirit is bringing me back to this, because I feel like when you can connect here with your intuition, right? Like I said, it's kind of like, or when you can connect in with your inner child is that version of you that is without fear, that is without limitations of the ego, that is your closest state to being your authentic self, before all of the traumas happen, before all of the repressing certain parts of yourself. And with the shadow work is about reclaiming those fragmented pieces of self that we may have rejected, that we may have forgotten. They may even be those parts of the self that have been developed because of certain things that we've went through, right? Where we start to develop certain more negative, right? Or sometimes even toxic personality traits, okay? Like such as being jealous or envious, which is really coming from us from a place of low self-esteem, insecurity, or a feeling of lack. And so I feel for many of you that chose this pile, your ancestors are kind of trying to help you or assist you in reconnecting with your inner child. And for some of you, that might be healing your inner child, and to acknowledge maybe what fears or doubts that you have within yourself and your own abilities. It's help for some of you. This could be that your ancestors are trying to help you to boost up your self-esteem. It may even be self-love practices where you start to feel better about yourself. You start to feel more empowered. I'm feeling that your ancestors are trying to help you with making yourself a priority in your life versus you making others a priority, or giving all of your time and energy to another person, or to, I mean, sometimes it's a job, right? Where we're working and working and working, and then we have no time left for ourselves. Or you're giving to a romantic partner, situation, a friendship, and you're not receiving anything in return. Okay? So we have the Three of Pentacles energy here. The Three of Pentacles is about collaborating with others. So we also have this energy of lavender here with serenity. Lavender is also something that is very calming. You guys, I actually use lavender before I start readings. I always put it in my hands. I'm going to do it right now, but I always put it in my hands and just kind of before I start readings, because I do have anxiety. And lavender helps to like really keep me calm, you know, calm and a lot more grounded during readings. Okay. So I like using lavender because it does that for me, you know, even if you're drinking like lavender tea or something like that. But it's a very calm energy, okay? And so I kind of feel like your ancestors are not only trying to help you to get in tune, like I said, with your inner child, self-love, self-care, your intuitive abilities and gifts, but also this creative force within you. And for many of you, this is kind of like this untapped potential. And so maybe that requires you to do some shadow work, to do some self-reflection. And if you notice in this picture too, when she's looking at herself and she's looking at her shadow here, look at what is at the center of her chest. Fire. Passion. Okay? And we have negligent versus loving. So some of you, of course, you know, there are certain aspects of the self, right? We all have certain aspects of ourself that we have neglected. Okay? With the shadow work, this is you learning how to love your shadow, how to reintegrate those parts of yourself that you have neglected. Okay? Let's see. And then you have the willow here with flexibility. That's cool because you also have Two of Pentacles here, which is about balance. Balance. I feel like this Three of Pentacles here too is also not only helping you to connect with other people to build more solid relationships and connections. The Three of Pentacles can also talk about entrepreneurship, okay? So for some of you that have been wanting to, say, start your own business or create another stream of income, passive income, I also feel like with timeless being here, because a lot of this has to do with the self, that Spirit is wanting you to recognize, your ancestors are wanting you to recognize that you are worth spending time to getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Okay? It's like Spirit is trying to help you to kind of like the stirrings of your soul, trying to help you to get it, like I said, more in tune with your inner fire, your creative power, kind of like your inner magician. Okay? Yeah, and this may even be changing the way in which you see yourself, right? Again, from being oblivious to aware of who you are, of why you're here, what you're meant to create, you know, maybe what your destined career path is, what your soul's purpose is. Okay, so I want to look at what this message says for you guys, and this is from the Queen Mab Oracle, which was actually donated to the channel by Sandra. So Sandra, thank you so much for donating this. So this is number 43, so let's see what this is about. Okay, so Raging Fire of Fever. It says, channel your passion. Passion is the fire that illuminates your world. Ground that passion now. Hold it. Keep it burning steadily by allowing it to flow through the earth, your body, and the present moment. When fire is suppressed, it eventually burns out. When it is allowed to burn out of control, it devastates. But when fire is contained and consciously channeled toward a positive purpose, it grants life, warmth, and the power to do great things. Do not extinguish your passion, but do not let it be a wildfire. Smother it and you will lose the thread of your joy in work, spirituality, friendships, and romance. Carelessly let it spread, and you will experience self-destructiveness, addiction, unhealthy relationships, and challenging mental and physical health. Properly directed, the flame of passion is the ideal fuel for inspiration, connection, success, creation, expansion, and self-growth. Take time each day to breathe consciously. Sensitize yourself to gravity and the feeling of your body on the earth. Align with all the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Notice where more balance might be established and take steps to develop it. Create space in your mind and relax your body. Set clear intentions in every life area. Sense your natural enthusiasm like an ever-burning pilot light within you. Tend to that flame like the priestess of Vesta. Let it be a fire of devotion at the altar of your heart. Then deliberately send that blinding radiance into all the energetic pathways and conduits that stoke and light up your desires. You are a force of nature, and you are also an alchemical engineer. Be clear-minded and purposeful in your use of power. Bathe in the brightness of your passion and let it be the spark that steadily kindles your commitment, connection, excellence, and the works of your fabulous genius. Okay? So yeah, I'm really seeing this is where your ancestors are helping you to connect with that fire, that creative energy within you, and letting it flow through you. Okay, and maybe that means for some of you, focusing on self-love, learning to accept all of those parts of yourself, reclaiming parts of yourself that you have rejected, right? That is all part of shadow work. No longer just, neglecting those parts of self, but reclaiming, okay? Addressing, again, whatever fears, insecurities that you have, because the moon also has to do with our subconscious. Okay, the moon in the subconscious is also, or I should say the subconscious mind is where the soul memories are. Okay, soul memories, especially for those of you that do believe in past lives, this is where the memories are stored, right? And this is where whenever you hear readers or anybody who's spiritual say, go within, go within, go within, this is why, right? Because this is where all of your knowledge comes from, all the past lives, from past experiences, from that connection to your inner child, to your higher self, to the source within. Okay? All right, so let's see. Let's get some more cards here. Your last 3 messages about what your ancestors are helping you with and why. We have the unknown. And this looks like a huge doorway that's opening. We have the unknown. Maybe for some of you, this is learning to trust in the unknown, which is also what the moon is. The unknown, what we cannot see. Sometimes we don't know, right, where a path will lead us, but there's a need for us to trust the intuition. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? We have illuminate. And one more. What is this? That's the guidebook. That doesn't go in there. Okay, and then we have disorder, and then we have radiant. Disorder. I feel like with the shadow work here, you know, we could look at this disorder card here as an aspect of the self, a need for helping to restore order in a sense, to get things into alignment here. And I want to clarify this a little bit, because this can certainly be, you know, your own mind or certain aspects of the self. Let's see, what does this disorder have to do with? I mean, that could even be about finding balance in your life, right? When everything seems chaotic, right? Let's see, what is this disorder here? The 6 of Swords. Which, okay. Well, I feel like with disorder here in the 6 of Swords, this can also be about you moving away from certain people or situations or even ways of thinking that are creating chaotic energy in life that might even be throwing you off balance. Okay? The 6 of Swords is moving us towards peaceful, more calmer energy. We have the Knight of Cups. Some of you, this might even be that your choices in romantic partners or your love life, okay? And I'm not going to say this is for all of you, but for some of you, your choices in romantic partners could be ones that are creating a lot of very chaotic energy within you. Okay, and these would be the romantic partners that are toxic, not really serving your highest good. I feel like also once you start to find balance within yourself, you're going to notice how that changes the people that you're attracted to and the people that you're attracting towards you. Okay? It's kind of like Spirit is trying to help you to illuminate. For some of you, this has to do with self-love, your self-worth, your self-love. For some of you, even healing the feminine energy here. Because I feel like once you feel more grounded, you feel more balanced, it's going to radiate outward into your life. Okay? So maybe this is illuminating what the disorder is in your life. What is out of balance? Whether those are certain parts of the self or there are certain people and situations that are creating that chaotic energy there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, pile number 2. I do hope this is helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonate with this card here, listen to the moon, number 5. Okay, this is going to be a reading today, so we are finding out what are your ancestors helping you with and why. So I'm going to pull your cards first, and then we're going to look at all of the energy together to see what it is that your ancestors are helping you with. Oops. I'm just flipping over all these cards. Okay. What are your ancestors helping you with? Pile 3, what are your ancestors helping you with? Okay. So we have the Carnation with strength. We have Borage with courage. And then we have the Key with opportunities. And I want to pull one of these for you guys. Okay, what are your ancestors helping you with, pile 3? What are your ancestors helping you with? That one right there. We've got relationships. Okay, and then at the bottom of the deck we have receptivity, from being dissatisfied to grateful. Okay, as it relates to receptivity. And then relationships is what's coming out for you, from feeling distant to more connected. Okay, so I feel like this might be super important for you. And again, this is like kind of a similar message that came out in another pile, but you know, I'm gonna see what's happening here in your reading. It might be completely unrelated, but you know, this could really be talking about any type of relationship. I don't want to limit it to strictly romantic in nature. So let's pull the tarot and see. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear the gardeners. They are at the next door neighbor's house. They always come on Fridays. So, again, hopefully not too loud. Okay, let's pull the tarot. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? Pile 3. Okay, so we have the Hermit. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? I think that's way too many. What are your ancestors helping you with? Okay, so we have the Strength card, the 8 of Swords, we have the King of Wands, What are your ancestors helping you with and why? And we have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 9 of Wands. What is underneath that? The 9 of Cups. Okay. 2 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles is here. Okay, so this may very well have to do, for a lot of you, have to do with romantic relationships. Okay, I'm going to stop for a moment until, because these gardeners are getting closer and I can't hear myself think right now. So I'm going to give it a second. The 8 of Swords is when we are kind of consumed by our own negative thoughts, negative thinking. And that can be certain limitations, restrictions. And so I feel like this is an important piece of the message that's here. And there's a lot of different things that were coming through here. And I was trying to remember everything because I couldn't record yet. But yeah, Spirit is like flooding me with all these messages. So, like I said, I don't want to necessarily rule out this reading as just for romantic relationships, because we do have the 10 of Pentacles here, and the 10 of Pentacles can talk about our family legacies, you know, generations of family members, and it can also have to do with our wealth, income, money. So what do I want to start with? I feel like you have both the Strength card here and the card that is talking about courage. Now, both of these energies are here in the Strength card, as they are also in the King of Wands energy. So with these two messages here, you have relationships either feeling distant in those relationships, or we feel connected to another person. With the being receptive, okay, we have either being dissatisfied with that receptivity, or we feel grateful. And more or less as it relates to romantic relationships, family relationships, and I'm even seeing this as the relationship that you have with your career. Okay, it's what you're putting a lot of your time and your energy into. Okay, because the 10 of Pentacles is more or less something that we have in the physical world. So I feel like it's important for you, because the first message that was coming through with this, as I was seeing the King of Wands kind of staring right at the 10 of Pentacles, and then the Hermit is over here, it kind of made me feel that for some of you, you could be on your journey of finding love. And maybe for some of you, you might find yourself in places where you're connecting with people who are emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically distant. Okay, in which you're feeling that potentially maybe your needs are not being met. You may be, because receptivity is about equal give and take, okay? And that has to do with any type of relationship, or even if we have a job, we're doing all, you know, working. We have expectations of receiving, right, from our employer, that the work that we put out is what we're going to get back in our salary, okay? So I feel like it's important for you to think about whether or not the relationships that you have in your life, and that relationship might be with yourself, because we can also look at this as the relationship between you and your higher self as well, or even you and your ancestors, which is what we're asking today. What are your ancestors helping you with? Okay, so because we're talking about ancestors and we do have the 10 of Pentacles here, this may even be something of a family or even ancestral cycle where, or even in family dynamics, okay, with parents or grandparents, where partners may have either been divorced, separated, not, not maybe a parent not being present, and I feel like what your ancestors are helping you with is to find out where that disconnect is within yourself, because of course you can't, fix other people and family members and romantic partners. You can only be, supportive with what you can in a relationship. So we have the Hermit energy here, and the Hermit is about isolation, solitude, reflection, introspection. It's about us kind of being on our own solo journey, okay? Now we can kind of connect in with the self whether or not we're in a relationship or we're single, okay? But I have a feeling when like I said, the first message that I was getting here is that for some of you, you could be on your journey of trying to find a love, trying to find, the partner that is your soulmate, your spouse, your long-term partner for yourself. And I feel for some of you, you may find yourself with people and connections that maybe are distant from you, that you end up feeling dissatisfied here. Okay. And as I'm saying that, the gardener is starting again. So maybe, I don't know, it just kind of seems like maybe for some of you, you're noticing that there's a lot of interference, or there's a lot of, it could be internal, even external energies that are creating blockages with your connections. And that can certainly, if you find yourself being dissatisfied in relationships and feeling distant from your partner, where you're not able to connect, and it either being something that's going on within you or something that you're finding in each part that you connect with, and that might certainly lead you to a place of feeling negative about connections, or even opening yourself up to receive, okay? But and you certainly might feel discouraged, because underneath the deck we had the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the 5 of Pentacles. So some of you might even be questioning, why is it this hard, and why does it take so much work why do things have to be so complicated, as we look at this 5 of Pentacles that looks literally like a maze. And as I'm, continuing to be interrupted by the gardener, I feel like maybe for some of you that is symbolic of the way that you find yourself in connections with people. Maybe, your relationships have been very complicated, family relationships, family dynamics, romantic relationships, leaving you in a state where you could be feeling confused, conflicted, even about continuing on that path of finding love, connecting with someone. I feel many of you have probably, with the 9 of Wands energy here, have been through a lot with family situations, with romantic partners, friendships, anybody that's close to you that you're really allowing into your life. The 5 of Pentacles is here, which is talking about a feeling of emptiness, a feeling of void, a feeling of insecurity, a feeling of abandonment or fear of abandonment, rejection, feeling like needs are not being met. And it's all the while just wanting to have happiness, love, contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment. And so I feel that, and I feel like even for those of you that are in a relationship or married, you might find even then that there is still this emptiness within you. And I feel like what your ancestors are trying to help you with is to, because I feel like with this opportunity here with the key is within you. Okay? That's how I'm seeing this. The key is within you. And you're going to find the answer by reflecting inwards, okay? Because we have the Hermit here. The Hermit is about being on a soul's journey. And sometimes that soul's journey requires us to be alone, be by ourselves. So some of you might be feeling like, why have I been single forever? Why can't I find my person? Or some of you might not even be looking for it right now because you're just like, you know what? Forget it. It's this is too complicated. Why does it have to be this hard? I just want to have a relationship. I just want to be happy. I want someone to be open. But then again, some of you might even find yourself in that place where you do meet someone and then you just kind of feel like either you have issues connecting emotionally with someone or opening up, or it's vice versa. Okay? So we have the Strength card here, and the Strength card is about inner strength, inner confidence, courage. It's about facing our fears. It's about having self-control. It's about being kind, gentle, compassionate, not forcing, right? Love, relationships to work. And then we also have the King of Wands energy here, which is a very powerful energy of leadership and passion and drive and inspiration. Certainly being very courageous here. And I feel that you also have one of your cards here says, listen to the moon. And the moon is all about cycles, okay? Ups and downs, and honoring that ebb and flow of cycles that we go through. And I feel like for some of you, what your ancestors are helping you with is to maybe take a look, right, at the connections that you do have in your life right now, and to know whether or not they are ones that are fulfilling for you, where you do feel connected and you and the person are connecting with each other, and whether or not that relationship is reciprocal. Okay? Now, for those of you where you are aware that there are family dynamics in play, or, some things to work on there, this could be looking back to your parents, your grandparents, because I do feel like family legacy is important here, okay? Like I said, maybe for some of you, you could have parents that are divorced, a parent that wasn't present, parents that had passed away, different types of scenarios, situations for all of you. But all the while going through this, okay, I feel like I said, the key, it's kind of like spirit is, the ancestors are trying to help you to do some soul searching, okay, with the Hermit energy being here. Do some soul searching and to find channel your inner strength at this time. Because for some of you, you might really be on that path of trying to find a partner to connect with, a partner that you feel that there is receptive and mutual energy between the two of you. Okay, because we're talking about moon cycles here with listen to the moon, And with the Hermit energy here, for those of you that, let's just say you haven't found your person yet, you haven't met your soulmate yet, or, you know, there's issues going on between you and another person, sometimes when we're in this Hermit energy, we can be kind of like in a really dark place. This is also kind of like the Dark Night of the Soul card of the tarot. This can be when we feel lost, when we feel uncertain of the path ahead, and we're trying to deep dive into the self to look for answers, right? So with this flow here, or the cycles, right, that happen with the moon energy, it's important for us to honor those times where we could be connecting with others and there is receptivity there. But I feel like it's just as important for you to honor that time that you are also by yourself. Okay? So for those of you that say might get discouraged because, oh, I haven't met the right person yet, or I haven't settled down yet, or I haven't found them, or I haven't gotten married yet, you know, this is also a very important part of our journey. And it's being in the Hermit energy is something that can happen for us many times during our lifetime. And sometimes when it happens, like I said, we might feel like in a very dark place, okay? But it's important for us to honor that place when it happens, because it is through the Hermit energy where we navigate our way through that darkness, through self-discovery, through inner child healing, through shadow work. So I want to read a little bit more about this message here, and this is from the Queen Mab Oracle, which was donated to the channel by Sandra. So Sandra, thank you so much for sending this in. I'm going to read the message here and see if this is going to add a little bit more depth. But like I said, I feel like primarily this message for you is about your ancestors helping you to assess whether or not the relationships that you do have in your life are ones that you do feel are supportive, stable, secure, connected, that you are, you know, like this is talking about feeling grateful for, or if they are ones that you do feel are distant, dissatisfied. Maybe there is, you know, for some of you, you feel either withdrawn from a partner, or withdrawn from family, or withdrawn from friends, or you connect with people who kind of do that same thing. Okay? Now, if you do find yourself in that place where you find, I am dissatisfied, I do feel like the people that I connect with are distant and they're not connecting with me, or I'm not connecting with them, that you find within yourself the inner strength and step into your power here to know that this dream or vision that some of you might have of stability, of security, of family, of healthy long-term relationships, no matter what types they are something that are possible for you. Okay? Because sometimes when we do, right, find ourselves dissatisfied, we may lose the desire to find a better connection and settle for less than we deserve of, or lose that desire and motivation and just say, you know what, forget it, I'm just going to be alone. I'm just going to be single forever. Forget this love stuff. This is too much work, which, you know, I get it. I've been there at that place where I felt completely helpless, hopeless with love, being rejected and abandoned over and over and over and over again for years of dealing with that. I get it. You know, where you get so much to that point where you're just like, the negative thoughts are just kind of in your mind. Like, why do I even try anymore? Okay, so let's look at this. Listen to the moon, and it says, allow ups and downs, Honor your cycles. It says you will always wax and wane. In the morning, you might feel universal delight, while at night, even fireflies may not give you a thrill. Perhaps on Monday, everybody loves you, but by Friday, no one remembers your name. In May, you could be the uncontested master of your trade, but by November, the world has changed, and you are an apprentice once again. Progress is not actually predictable. You would be wise to consider yourself lucky that this is so, as a plodding upward or forward trajectory would be an abomination, a brutal destruction of wonder, mystery, and delight. After a summer of romance and magic, the leaves fall from the trees. In time, the bear sleeps, the streams freeze over, and the frost dusts the earth like sugar. Some years, a great blanket of snow piles up. In other years, the snow is less forthcoming. Then one day, we can't say which the bear awakes. Birds sing, leaves grow, and the wind whispers through them. The water melts and the streams flow, and summer comes again. The same cycle as last year, but by no means the same at all. Similarly, the moon expands, contracts, disappears, and then expands again. She dances to her own spiraling song. Sometimes the clouds curtain her. Other times she is wreathed in a rainbow. From Earth, we never see her far side. She never reveals all. She keeps her own counsel. She is always an enigma. And yet, when you get very quiet, you will hear her whisper. You will hear her bid you rest when you are tired and dance when you are wound up. She will urge you to show your face when feeling social and to hide it when you are shy. She will assure you that whether you feel wonderful or terrible, or anywhere in between, the feeling will certainly pass and transform into something else. She will speak to you of ancient magics, and if you need them, she will tell you how to cast the spells that will restore delight, reawaken dormant wisdom, or revive a frozen heart. She will declare to you that no paths are straight, all paths are crooked, and double back on themselves. She will also remind you that true success and authentic riches dwell within your own unique experience and have nothing to do with how other people measure or perceive you. Listen to the moon. Okay? I think that was really beautiful because this energy that's here, like I said, some of you, it makes me more or less kind of feel like being on this path of connecting with others, which is what is in our nature to do. We want connection, friends, family, partners, and being able to go through all of those ups and downs when trying to bring those connections together, when trying to make things work with people, friends, family, romantic. A lot of the time we could be thinking, what am I doing wrong? Again, why does this have to be so hard? Why can't I just have a normal family? Why can't I just have a normal relationship? Normal friends, or healthy, as if that is too much to ask for. And a lot of these feelings, right, of dissatisfaction can certainly lead us to a place where we're feeling very discouraged, So I do feel like your ancestors are trying to help you to feel more secure within yourself, okay? And to understand and honor these cycles where you do feel connected with people and happy and grateful and happy and content and satisfied with us having those connections, right? Because we don't always go through life feeling dissatisfied and unhappy and distant from people. Sometimes we do have those good connections with friends or family members or romantic partners. And like I said earlier, I feel like it's important for you to recognize those times when we go through those changes in life where certain things, right, don't work out in the way that we hope they would, but we also take that and honor that time for connecting with people, but also making that time to be distant and taking that time for self. So I feel like your ancestors are trying to help you to better flow, okay? Better flow with life's challenges, ups and downs as they relate to connections, okay? And rather than, kind of being in a place where we do feel dissatisfied or distant from connections with others, and not so much just focusing on the dissatisfaction, but more or less taking that as time for reflection within the self, okay? So, and for some of you, this might certainly be healing a lot of family dynamics, because we don't have to be with what we choose for ourselves. We don't have to be our past. We don't have to be what mom and dad were. We don't have to be and repeat certain cycles of the way our ancestors were, right? This is about you building a sense of stability, security, longevity. And even if it is, say, a job, a career that you feel disconnected from, that you feel dissatisfied with, that you have the inner courage and strength to not give up on what it is that you want, whether it's a healthy, stable relationship or a long-term career that is going to lead you to financial security and success. Okay? I feel like the important, powerful energy that's here for you is this King of Wands and the Strength card, right? And also the Hermit. But the King of Wands is about you taking the lead and paving your own path, right? Towards whatever this Ten of Pentacles might be for you. So honor those times, okay? Whether positive or negative, because they are all part of your journey. And I feel like your ancestors are trying to help you to, get more comfortable with being in that flow from being connected to disconnected, right? Because they do have their the polarity, right, between, or with the differences between these energies, the polarities there. So I want to pull a little bit more here. I want to see what else. And then it's interesting because you guys have this Nine of Wands, Nine of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and then you also have the High Priestess here, which also is the feminine energy. Okay, so what are your ancestors helping you with and why? We have guidance here. What are your ancestors helping you with and why? We have destiny. Beautiful. And I feel like this is important for those of you with destiny here. Two different ways. For those of you that are single, okay, this is about you reflecting inwards, right? Doing the healing work, finding out why there is this feeling of emptiness or void or despair, and working through that energy. But for those of you that are in relationships or even marriages, situationships, that you don't feel that you're receiving what you truly deserve, I feel like this is also your power and your courage and your strength to walk away from those connections and to not give up, like I said earlier, on that desire that you have for this, okay? Ultimately, leading you towards your destiny, which is what your ancestors are trying to get you to, okay? So that you are experiencing that Nine of Cups. And we have the paradox, which is interesting. Pile number, I think it was pile 1 that got this card too. And this is essentially telling us that not everything is as it seems. There's a need for us to pay attention. Okay? And that paying attention might even have to do with something that your intuition is telling you about a relationship, about a family situation, about your job. Right? We have guidance, destiny, and the paradox. So if your ancestors are trying to guide you towards your destiny, this requires us to listen to our intuition. Where is our intuition guiding us? Towards or even away from certain people in certain situations. So with the paradox here, it's basically saying all is not as it seems. There's a need for you to look closer at the details, closer at the information. Sometimes if we are feeling distant or dissatisfied in connections and relationships, is it the other person? Or might there also be something within the self that we need to heal, that we need to reflect upon, okay? Because I've done, thousands, you guys, thousands of private readings over the years. That I've been reading professionally. Almost 5 years now of doing private readings just about every single day. So I've done a lot, a lot of private readings for people. And with that, I've seen many people, many clients that are self-sabotaging. Okay? And sometimes they don't have that self-awareness. They might not be so aware of their own patterns of behaviors, their own ways of thinking, and how great they have an impact on relationships. So we can then begin to ask ourselves, if we are feeling dissatisfied and unhappy, whether it's with a job or a friendship or a romantic partnership, and we're looking so much at, say, like the other person, okay? The other person versus a need for looking within the self. So I feel like this is also helpful here. Let's look at this paradox and what this has to do with. I'm seeing the 3 of Pentacles is showing this is about connections with others, building connections and relationships with others. So some of you, might have some insecurities that you need to work on with learning how to build connections, learning how to open up to receive, okay, love. So it's important for you to also take that time to look within the self. What is the paradox here for pile number 3? The Death card, which is about transformation, change, endings. And the Page of Cups. I'm going to cover her up a little bit. For some of you, this is a need for healing the self. Okay, a need for healing the inner child. A need for self-love, self-care. Because for some of you, an unhealed inner child or a lack of self-love, a lack of self-worth, insecurities, fear could be that thing that is blocking you from being able to connect with others, to build and sustain healthy relationships. A healthy relationship with others, a healthy relationship with self. Okay. And then we have the Four of Cups. Okay, so yeah, I feel like with the Four of Cups energy here, this is Spirit saying that maybe this is a blind spot for some of you. Some of you might not be seeing something that needs to be healed within the self. And that would be the reason. Because sometimes we can even have an amazing partner, okay? An amazing partner that is loving, that is present, and we still don't feel happy. We have an amazing job. We still don't feel happy. Okay? The problem may not necessarily be the other person or the career. And for some of you, this could be, you know, if you are feeling, like I said, dissatisfied with a relationship, with a job, this is your ancestors trying to help you to assess these connections that you do have in your life. And what is the reasons for which feeling dissatisfied, unhappy. And for some of you, sometimes we search for, which I feel like happens a lot of the time, we search outside of the self for fulfillment, for satisfaction. When really what your soul desires is for you to connect with your inner child, for you to connect with your infinite creative potential, for you to connect with your inner knowing about what your destiny is, what your soul is desiring for you to create, or to help you to move away from certain people, situations, jobs that are not in line with you, to help you to discover what your destiny is. Okay? And like I said, some of you might have that blind spot there. Some of you might be looking for happiness and fulfillment at the next place you live, in that next relationship, at that next job. Okay, so I am feeling here with this energy that your ancestors are wanting you to, for some of you, it's healing the inner child. Okay, self-love, your own personal transformation. The Four of Cups energy is when we are feeling sorry for ourselves. It's when we are feeling dissatisfied. So if we're feeling dissatisfied and disconnected from the job, the relationship, the friendship, the family, this is helping you to look deeply within the self. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you, pile number 3. I do hope this is helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.